Hi everyone. Happy New Year. 2025. It's here. It's incredible. I want to thank anyone coming to my channel for the first time. Welcome. For those of you that have been taking this journey with me, I truly appreciate each and every one of you. The things that I've been talking about, the things that I've been going over is inspired by my spiritual experience. And I didn't post a video last week because I wanted to process everything that I went through last year. Actually, for the last 2 years. This March coming up this year will be 2 years from my spiritual experience and my psychosis that I had. So I had to process. So that's what I did last week. But from my source video, if you watch that whole video, that I am coming to you today to tell my dragon story. But I'm not going to tell you right away because I have a message. And the reason that I'm going to tell my dragon story, this is so crucial to everything that I'm putting out there for you. Other people's opinion of you is none of your business. Other people's opinion of you is none of your business. And interestingly enough, I was triggered yesterday because there's some things in us from childhood that can be still there that you don't know about until a spur of a moment, somebody does something and the hurt comes up just like a big, huge waterfall and it comes out of you. And that's the thing, is even though I am doing these videos, even though I'm doing this work, stuff still happens to me. I still get triggered. And the biggest trigger that I have, it seems, is not being seen. And interestingly enough, that the person that triggered me told me the truth. And remember what we talked about in the last videos of the 7 levels of being human, and even in the honesty video for my habits, we eat that honesty apple and it is bitter. It's bitter because we have to take stock of the things that we've done to other people to make situations worse, whatever it is that we did those actions, regardless of where we were at in life, we take ownership of it. But from that honesty apple, you get the truth. And it's bitter and it's sweet. And that's what yesterday was. No matter how much work I do, no matter how much I would like somebody to perceive me different, I have to take stock of where they're at in life too. Their impression of me might only be my last mistake, my last thing that I did wrong. In this world, people may never, ever see the true you. Now, does that make them a bad person? No, it makes them a human. Every single one of us humans are going through our own journey. And we have to stop looking at other people to give us something. We have to look at other people to give us nothing. Because when we give our something, we want your opinion, we want you to see us. We are putting the power in their hands instead of ours. And either a situation you talk about, you feel better or you feel worse. But that's a lot on another person. because you're trying to get something from someone else. Because everything we need is right here. The only thing that we need is right here. The two things that we need, self-love and self-care. Those are the only two needs in life, is those two things. And when we do that, and we don't look at something from someone else, we find everything we need in here, then you find more peace, you find more love, and you find more happiness. You will find those things because when you seek them outside of yourself, it'll be good or it'll be bad. But the outcomes are determined on somebody else's shoulders instead of your own. And that is why I'm telling my dragon story. Because this is an extreme story. Telling this story could get people to say, wow, she's delusional, or she was hallucinating, or she, like what she's saying, it's this or that way. And here's the thing, it is. Someone watching this video has every right to their opinion of me. They do. But it's up to me to have only an opinion of myself. So here's my story, my dragon story. So we're probably in 2023, March, the end of March. And I think I'm in the experience probably 3 or 4 days. It was 9 days, so it was a very long experience. And it was a particularly bad night. There's things that I was facing, that I felt, that I saw, that were not. If I was truly having that experience, it would have terrified me. Terrified anybody, really. But for some reason, I felt very loved and very protected during this experience. But I can't take back the things that I saw that particular night. And I left my house, and I didn't go very far. I went to a park, and I sat at the park all day. I had people check up on me. I was fully into this experience. And I know that in my brain, it was hard for me to take stock of the things that were going on with me, that I was seeing, that I was experiencing, that I was having. So this particular day came to the night. Things happened that night as well. But the biggest thing that happened that night is I got out of my car. I felt a presence behind me, and we walked into this field. And this particular park, it was very small, the parking lot, and they had like this walking trail that anyone could go on. And so I was walking into the field, not into the path that everybody can walk through, that you'd have to walk through the weeds. I was walking through the weeds, and it was March, so everything was dead, and the weeds in there was like scraping my legs as I was walking. And I walked into the field, and every time I stepped, it felt like foam underneath my feet. Like when you go to one of those sky jumper places and they have the foam that you can jump into, it felt like that when you're walking out on top of those foam blocks. So it was foam, and I was walking, and then I got to the middle of the field, and then I turned to my left, and then there was the main road, and then to my right side there was a house, across the road, and then on the left side was a big tree, and then in the middle it was completely open, so there wasn't anything in the middle. And I was told to look up, and I slowly started to look up, and the moon was full, the stars were bright, and then all of a sudden I saw this dragon. And it was so white. It was like whiter than the brightest moon. And so I was sitting there, and I feel like someone's like putting their hands on my shoulders, and I'm looking up, and I'm seeing this dragon coming down out of the sky. And I could see the scales, and it was coming in an S formation, like this. And it was coming like at a downward angle. But the thing was, is even though it was moving, it was looking directly at me. Like when somebody's like this, but they're looking at you. And I told you that night before was like, if you were in your normal state, it would have been terrifying. And in this whole experience, I was never scared. But in that moment, my chest went, it literally, like my heart just caught from seeing this magical thing coming down out of the sky. And it had horns, it had the little whisker things. And from how much research that I've done, it was not Game of Thrones dragon. It was more of an Eastern dragon. So it had the long body, the 4 legs, no wings, the bigger head. And, I've been thinking about this a lot since, this was what I was going to talk about today. And the thing that caught me the most is I was so disappointed that my brain wasn't taking what it is, because how many people get to see a real life dragon coming out of the sky? But in my experience in that moment, I just wanted the experience to be done. But I have been trying to make sense of this one experience more than the rest of the experiences, because dragons were not part of my everyday, going to watch a ton of dragon videos. Also, the Game of Thrones dragon is the images that I saw. So why, in particular, seeing more of the Eastern dragon, but it was white. It was beautiful, and it was the most intense experience of my life. And as soon as I could get away from that dragon in the sky and what was happening to me, I was gone. So I was gone. I left the experience. More happened that night. But the particular thing that I wanted to talk about was many people will have opinion of this dragon experience, because many people have opinions about dragons. And I've done my research that everywhere in the world there's a dragon story, with people way back in the days where they did not have a cell phone to communicate, all have a dragon story. And I can tell you, I saw a dragon. And we dismiss people, even 2,500 years ago, that said, oh, well, they saw something. Well, it's delusional, it's hallucinating. But how can so many people across the globe way back when describe something similar? There is so much in this world we don't know about, but we're judging other people, saying that they're crazy, that there's no way this could be possible. And here's the thing. It could be something big as a dragon story or as small as a person's opinion of you. And we take more stock in their opinion of you than you take stock of your opinion of yourself. And I will end on this. Other people's opinion of you is none of your business. Tell your story. Tell your truth. Other people's opinion is not your business. You are the most valuable thing in this world. Your opinion of yourself rank number one in your life. If I can go on here and tell a story that is so unbelievable that people will have an opinion one way or the other, then you can tell your truth and don't let somebody else tell your story. That is their version of you. It is not the truth unless you make it the truth. I just wanted to share this too. So I was getting ready to share this dragon story and I got this. I go thrift shopping all the time. And you know, when you go to thrift stores, you never know what you're going to find. But I found this in particular, and I thought it was so relevant because it's, I don't want to harsh the name of what it is, but it's a signature that people use in Eastern cultures as their name. Now, this in particular is an image, so people could use that. But I thought it was really cool because it's the dragon and the red paste. So it's like the red dragon symbolism, but it kind of told me, you know, like, go ahead, tell your story. People are going to believe you or not believe you. And then last week I found this. So dragons will forever be part of my story. And so I just wanted to share that with you. But take care of yourself. I'm going to be coming out with different methods of how to look at something and more stories this year. We're going to be working on our fears. Lots of things coming up for 2025 for the Rose. So keep in touch. Bye. Take care of you.